Hello, it's Jessica here from 5Elk. Today I'm going to be showing you how to manage your data feeds. The first thing I'm going to suggest is to create a data feeds area on your dashboard. Here's one I've created earlier. This will show you how many unmapped accounts and how many out of balance accounts that you have. Let's take a quick look on how you can create this yourself. If you don't have a data feeds tab, simply select the drop down arrow next to main and add a tab. I'm going to call this one data feed 2. You can move your tab along in your tabs to decide where you'd like it to be located. Once you've opened up your tab, select the drop down arrow to add a widget. Then from the widget list, select the data feed widget, System Data Feeds. This will allow you to show unmapped accounts, unmapped clients, out of balance accounts, and in particular, if you have clients with online access that have out of balance accounts, it may be important for you to see those clients as a priority. And you can select up to 50 clients to be shown on the screen. Select OK, and this is going to bring up your data feed stats. You can go straight into your unmapped accounts area by clicking on that icon. Now, for privacy reasons, we've hidden a lot of information on this page. But for your reference, what we're locating here is data feeds that have come through into Xplan but have not found a home, have not found a client. So you will see the client name and the portfolio account name, the vendor, the portfolio account ID, the vendor advisor IDs, that's your advisor code, who the vendor advisor is linked to, and who the client advisor is suggesting it is. You can map a data feed to your client by clicking on the drop down arrow and selecting the option to map. It's going to allow you to move that data feed from the unmapped area and put it against your client. Simply use the magnifying glass to search for your client. There is the option to create a brand new one. If you haven't got this client on Xplan already, you can tick that box. Typically though, you would have these clients on Xplan and you could simply look them up, select your client, select OK, and then save in the top right hand corner. It's very important that when you select save, you do so only once. Let the system then map that account. It can take up to 20 seconds. Do not hit save twice, as that will cause the data feed to fail to apply itself to the client and also force you to not, we won't be able to map it again in the future. There's about 5 steps we have to do before it's mappable in the future. So it's really important that we only hit that save button once. Good news though, if you have a client with similar names or similar mapping criteria, so first name, surname, advisor, date of birth, if you map one, it will likely map all of the clients with the same matching criteria, which will save you a little bit of time. Now, if you haven't set up your dashboard widget and you want to know how to access this unmapped area, I'm going to show you how to get there. We're going to select the admin icon on the left-hand menu. We're going to select integration and then system data feeds. Now, if you can't remember that, you can use your search option to start typing in system data feeds and then select it from the menu. Once we're inside system data feeds, we want to select the mappings area. There are 2 unmapped areas. One is for portfolio accounts and the other is client focus accounts. Every data feed that is a portfolio data feed will also have a client focus account. That client focus account houses things such as first name, surname, date of birth, phone number, email address, that matching criteria that Xplan's using to find the client. So if you map the portfolio account, it should automatically map the client focus account. So we recommend for your portfolio data feeds, you go to the IPS external accounts area first, change your filter option to list unmapped, and that will bring up the list of unmapped accounts for you. Once you have mapped all your portfolio accounts, it is possible you will also have some client focus accounts that are unmapped. These include insurance data feeds. So once you've finished in portfolio, move across to client focus accounts and again select list unmapped to list the client focus accounts that need to be mapped. And exactly the same requirement, clicking on the drop down arrow and selecting the map feature. If you come across a client where their portfolio balance that's being received from a data feed is currently showing as out of balance, or there's an issue with the number of units that the client has within their portfolio, you can do a refresh to try and locate missing transactions. On the left-hand menu within the client, select Admin and then External Accounts. If you can't see the Admin button, it might be because you've selected View All in your listing options. And if you have a look under View All, there is no Admin button. So it's very important if you want to resolve a data feed issue, you first go to the client that has the issue. So that's a very important step. Then under the portfolio menu, you will have Admin and External Accounts. This is where all the portfolio data feeds that have been linked to a client can be located. From here, you're going to click on the drop down arrow and you're going to request a refresh. Select Refresh. It is important that unless you know otherwise, do not delete data, do not override lock dates, or add a date to override from. If you're familiar with data feeds and you know the data feed that you're working on does have manually entered data that needs to be removed, then you can delete existing data and you can delete both manually entered data and the data feed data at the same time. It's very important though that this step can cause your data feeds to not work, particularly if they are a direct share data feed with a combination of manually entered transactions, corporate actions, and data from the data feed. So if you're not sure, do not change any of the defaults, simply select OK. By doing that, it is going to locate any transactions that are missing against the client and try and put your client back into balance. You will get notified through the bell notification of the outcome. If the issue is not resolved from a refresh, I do recommend that you go into the transactions area within the client and review the transactions, potentially looking for any manually entered transactions. You will notice that if you scroll across, your vendor name will tell you where the data has come from. So typically say Macquarie or BT or Net Wealth, and the ones with no vendor ID have been manually added. So if that account is, or that transaction needs to be removed in order to ensure the data coming through on the data feed is correct, simply use the drop down arrow to remove that transaction. You can also filter down in this area to a particular account or a particular security to ensure that you are reviewing only that account and that product that is out of balance for your client. Now, majority of the time, a simple refresh is all that you need to do to bring your account in balance. If the account doesn't get resolved, the next step is to follow your internal protocols on reporting data feed issues, whether that's directly to your site administrator or Xplan. Hope you've enjoyed today's training session on data feeds.